Listen up, partners. This is Good, Bad, Ugly on World Improv Network.
Good evening, everyone. I am Alex.
My name is Asa.
And I'm Jim.
And we are your astute win counselors to get you through the week with any problems you might be facing or any daily grind issues you want addressed. And we're going to get right to our first winner. Our first winner is Jocelyn from Mission Viejo, California. And she writes, Dear Win, who do you guys think is sexier, Beyonce or Channing Tatum in full drag dressed as Beyonce during Spike TV's lip sync battle?
Wow.
That's a hard one to take.
I haven't actually seen the lip sync battle, so this might be a trick question. But I'm gonna go with Beyonce, because I like big butts, and
you cannot
Channing
lie.
Tatum kind of has a potato head. Yeah,
Channing Tatum with the potato head. But what if the potato head was actually his butt? Would that make a difference?
that would just be weird.
Oh.
Like
So that wouldn't sway your opinion one way or another.
No, it might push me further toward Beyonce. Actually,
Okay.
If his butt was his head,
Right. If his butt, because Jim says his head looks like a potato head. But if you took that head off and put it on his butt, and then he might have some more back.
so you'd have
in
a
which
potato butt?
Yeah, right. But it would be like a little bit more robust, like an Idaho potato butt. In which case, it might be similar to Beyonce's behind. In which case, maybe he'd be more attractive.
And then he'd be headless.
Oh, that'd be cool too.
and his butt would talk,
See?
which is really what I find the most disconcerting.
So the lip sync battle would be from out of his butt then, instead
Yeah.
of off his neck.
But it would make biblical relations very awkward.
Yeah. Especially if he sat on his own face
Yeah, hard to hold a conversation.
and you break your nose. Hey, so what do you think?
I think cosmetic surgery is anybody's choice. So if Channing Tatum wants to get a head potato transplant to his butt, then that's totally his right.
And dress and drag? I mean, would that
don't
sway
get me
you?
started on
Is he
drag.
going to be better looking than Beyonce? If he has a potato butt and is dressed in drag, do you think he's now more sexy than Beyonce?
No, honestly, I think the drag just, he doesn't need to go much further than that. I think the drag really seals the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take him out on a date.
Well,
Only if he was in drag, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing holding that back from happening is your approval.
That's pretty much it. I mean, honestly, Ace,
Yeah,
it's
all
yours
right.
for the taking if you
All right.
want it.
All right.
And you know what? I'm going to have to say here, Jocelyn, I'm going to go with Channing Tatum. And here's why. Because if I say Beyonce, then Jay-Z's going to think I'm creeping on his girl. And I know what happens when Jay-Z gets mad. He starts kicking and throwing people around in elevators and stuff. So I don't want to mess around with that. Bam! That's right. Just like that. Channing Tatum, it is. All right, well, let's move on to our next winner, and that's Ruslan from Warsaw, Poland. And Ruslan writes, Dear Win, what do you guys look most forward to in 2016?
Most like parts of summer, just weather.
Just a change of weather. So
Yeah.
really high aspirations.
Well, I don't want to set the bar too high.
Right.
Ooh, that's very stoic philosophy of you.
Well, some of the Greeks had it right.
Yeah. It's almost kind of Kierkegaard. Is it Kierkegaard? Is that his name?
No, Kierkegaard was all about living passionately. And
Oh, okay. So looking towards, but summer can be passionate. Matter of fact, it might be the most passionate season of the year.
yeah, my stoicism wanes with the cold weather, and then I become more Kierkegaardian as the
Summer solstice.
summer solstice approaches.
Oh.
Right.
All right. Jimbo, what are you looking most forward to?
Wow. I think really just survival on a basic level.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't want to die this year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you heard about that dude that shot himself in the leg trying to do, what are those things called? Like a mousetrap?
Oh, Rube Goldberg devices?
Yeah. He was building a Rube Goldberg device in his house to shoot a watermelon and put a smiley face in it, and he blew his quad almost completely off.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he had to sit in an emergency room for like 72 hours before they attended to him.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so he could have like bled out and he could have died on something stupid. So yeah,
Yeah.
just staying alive could be a pretty valid thing that you'd want to look forward to.
Yeah.
In
No,
2016.
that's where I'm at right now.
I'm looking forward to Halley's Comet. That's
Is it
what?
coming around?
I hope so.
No.
I think that's like once every 60 years.
I think it's once in 84, but I'm hoping it comes around this year. Just makes a U-turn or kind of gets off track a little bit. Takes the wrong left turn at the wrong light, and it comes back.
I think I just want to go take another swing by Earth, see how that swinging planet's doing.
Totally, because then Heaven's Gate people will come out. Be a big festive, event when Halley's Comet comes. So I'm hoping that's what I'm hoping for 2016. Halley's Comet. Oh, okay.
That's realistic.
It's realistic, and it's as good as anything. Maybe summer doesn't come.
I do want to add, I'm also looking forward to hearing who they choose for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh yeah,
because it's between
I think
Donald Trump and who is
El
it?
Chapo.
El Chapo, right.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That is a tough one.
I can't believe they're
such fine candidates that I don't know how you can pick between the two.
I honestly I think it's BS that Kanye is not in the running.
Yeah. And matter of fact, I would even throw Justin Bieber in there.
Yeah.
He should be up there for consideration. But maybe they were, but I think they narrowed down like 16-2, and maybe it's just the last two. Maybe they were like semifinalists. But yeah, it's tough to pick between those two. Those are just stand-up, altruistic people. Yeah.
Or that show, Two Broke Girls.
Two Broke Girls.
Good show.
Yeah.
Kat Dennings.
That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
All right, well, let's move on to Pat. Pat's our next winner, and he's from Broomfield, Colorado. And this is going to hit a little bit home here, closer to us.
Hey,
He writes, Dear Win, what do you guys think it will take for the Broncos to make it back to the Super Bowl and win it this time under Peyton Manning? And I see Jimbo over there getting a little bit of a smirk. So, Jimbo, what do you think? I know you have a vested interest in this week's game besides the fact that we're here in Denver.
Yeah, I have a little bit. But I think it's going to take a miracle because Peyton Manning is finished and his shoulder can't stand up to an entire game of throws as the Steelers defense, Cameron Hayward, is going to be all over him, making his presence felt. Ryan Shazier is going to shake the ground he walks on. Man. And I'm just going to call it right now. It's going to be a Pittsburgh victory in overtime, 6-4.
6-4.
Wow.
That's a very good overtime pick. I like that.
So 2 safeties.
2 safeties.
5 safeties.
Oh.
Because they get to overtime 4-4, and then Pittsburgh's going to put it away with an overtime safety.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a very good prediction. That's as good as any. What do you think, Ace? What do you think? What it takes for the Broncos to get back to the Super Bowl and to win it under Manning?
I think it's going to take a good vitamin regimen. I think vitamin C wins games.
Vitamin C?
Yeah. Vitamin C wins games.
Especially before cold weather games. It's like like emergency, you kind of prevent a cold coming. So if you take emergency before a cold weather game, you prevent any fumbles, any kind of misreads and so on from happening on the field.
Before, during, and after the game, just taking that vitamin C.
Nonstop.
All right, yeah.
Almost like on a binge.
You've got to. When the adrenaline is pumping, all right, it's burning through that vitamin C like none other. So you got to keep the intake going.
Well, here's my thought. It's going to be like, in your head, in their heads, Broncos, 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 hos. It's in their head. If they can get their head straight, they're going to win the game. If not, you know what's going to happen? Exactly what Jim says. Defense is going to run amok, and goodbye.
Yep.
I just want to point out that you're referencing the cranberries, another great source of vitamin C.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. See?
Wow.
Comes full circle. That's the answer. Vitamin C and cranberries specifically. All right, we got our next winner. It's Terrence from St. Petersburg, Florida, and he writes, Dear Win, what would you do if you won $1.3 billion Powerball jackpot?
That's what
it's going to be on Wednesday. $1.3 billion is going to be the Powerball.
I would fund one single run for the presidency for myself.
Oh, you can still get in time, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that would be barely enough money to put a campaign together.
Barely enough. I know, because Hillary's going to raise like $2 billion. It's insane.
Yeah.
I would invest in a one of those super fast train rails, like the ones that like don't touch the rails.
Maglev. Oh.
Yeah. To go all around the United States.
1.3 billion is not going to cut it though, brother. You need more than that.
No, that's a lot of money.
You could do it all around Cap Hill, maybe.
All right,
yeah,
well,
just do the routes that you need.
We'll start local.
Yeah, just the routes you need.
Yeah, we'll cut my commute time from half an hour to
half a second.
Well, it'll be like It would still be half an hour, to be in line with tickets.
Not if it's your own train. It's your own private train.
My
your
train?
Own, your own private maglev to wherever you want to go. Then you just step on and you're there.
Yeah.
It's almost like teleporting Star Trek style.
Then I would, I'd want to take it to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Denver to Chicago.
Denver. Oh, all right, I like that.
I hope it makes that sound.
Yeah.
That's a requirement.
I would spend $900 million or $1.3 billion on the biggest gold nugget and priceless gem there is. And then what I would do, I would flush it down the sewer.
Oh.
That's it. And the best, and someone might find it, years later, and all of a sudden they're rich, not me.
Wow.
Paying it forward.
Paying it
That's
forward.
very altruistic of you.
Well, I'm trying to be like Donald Trump and El Chapo.
Mm.
All right. And we got one more little piece of inspiration, get you through the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And that is known as Horoscope Corner.
Love, fortune, status. Let us do your astrological chart. Horoscope Corner on World Improv Network.
Hey there, Aries. You've got a problem coming down the pike because you might end up with hair cheese unless you go to the World Improv Network on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel, like some videos, check us out on iTunes, the World Improv Network podcast. Leave a review, leave some stars. Check us out on the Mile High Sports Network, 1340 AM, and leave your comments and suggestions for us at World Improv Net on Twitter. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to Win on Mile High Sports Radio. Don't forget to be a winner and interact with the cast by sending your suggestions or questions for each show segment throughout the week by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, on Twitter at World Improv Net, or by calling into the Mile High Sports Radio studio line on Sundays before or during the show. See you next week.